is a short live. I have been thinking about the Pluto retrograde as we're coming up on it. And yeah, we have had Pluto in Capricorn, and that has been accomplishing what it set out to do. Okay, but right now, Pluto has been in Aquarius, and it is going retrograde on Thursday, May 2nd in Aquarius, and then it'll go back through Capricorn, and then it's going to eventually go direct in Aquarius. So, like, as we sit with this energy, Pluto is like out with the old, in with the new. It is transformative. It's about renewal. It's about change. So with a transformative planet going through your house, depending upon where it is in your chart, is going to make a difference for your life in the next 20 years. So, you know, just sitting with the energy for my own chart, my 11th house has been affected, you know, and then, you know, my 12th house is going to be affected. So thinking about the whole 11th house issue, over the years, I've changed. I thought that I was Little Miss Church and Little Miss Christian, and I studied the Judea Christian path, and I was solid in what I knew. And, you know, I had a little identity built up. And, you know, when we have identity and ego changes, we definitely get affected. Like, it can throw your world upside down, as far as, you know, one minute you think you have a secure little group and you have people that are supportive and loving around you, and then you know, where are your people, you know? So you know, here we are, Pluto in Aquarius relating to group dynamics, and also independence, and people being rebellious, and you know, unique. And honestly, we all are unique. Each and every one of us is unique, and we all have our own path. And I think people will be connecting over the next 20 years, and internet is a big deal. People talk about the censorship on the internet and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we have 20 years ahead of us with Pluto in Aquarius. As a Pisces, it affects my 12th house of spirituality. So I expect this spiritual growth, like, hey, like with the astrology and the spiritual. I don't expect myself to run back to my old church people, because if you study the path of the Pisces, yeah, for reals, it's gonna probably get worse. But you know, like, if you study the path of the Pisces, I don't know if you have a Pisces rising or if you're Pisces sun, but they've done lifetimes in church. So if you had a church, a foundation when you were young, and you know, before the age of 30, you were going through a review. Anything coming up on 30, when you have your Saturn return, is a review, and it ties back into your past lives. So, in understanding that information, I had a solid dogma experience with theology and dogma when I was young, and it was a strong religious experience. And you know, apparently I needed that review of the theology and the dogma, and, you know, all of that for this life. And so I got that when I was young, but it wasn't supposed to be anything lasting, because, like, in my experience, you know, I thought I knew who I was, thought I was a good person. I used to pray for hundreds of people a day, you know, Like I like literally thought I was, a decent person. I was in the church and everything, and then I went through an experience where um like my life was turned upside down. Honestly, I did go through a narc smear campaign, excuse the expression. But I mean, we talk about things that we go through, but and that's human. So yeah, I went through a narc smear campaign, mid 20s, and then here comes the astrology again. And I had picked up astrology magazines at 13, and then here, um, I still couldn't put away astrology even when I was trying to do the Christian path. Of course, astrology taps into your intuition, so that is a spiritual gift, and so we do need to understand the dynamics around us, and so I think that's why I'm drawn to the astrology, because it's about the discernment. But anyways, yeah, in my experience, the church, it was a gradual experience from going from church to spiritual, because the dogma gets ingrained in you and you're like, oh, I should give it a chance, and I should open my heart again, and I should go through this. But then, like some of us, we've got astrology books at home. Maybe some of us are experimenting with the mystical. And so some of us, I think, are called out of churches. We're not supposed to be there. Like in this life, you could be a spiritual teacher and not be in church. You could have your own little group and y'all can be meeting together. You could take turns leading, whatever. But yeah, like in my experience, I got called out of the church. And so anytime anybody mentions church to me, it becomes kind of offensive. But I know that church doesn't necessarily have to be in a building, and we all don't have to be giving away our paychecks to the church. I mean, we could choose where we spend our money and what we invest in. And so, yeah, anyways, that's my little rant. But yeah, definitely thinking about the Pluto in Aquarius, and how that relates to group dynamics changing, and how people are going to be independent and connecting, and maybe people will have multiple groups of people they run with. I think that we're going to have some interesting dynamics with how people operate and what they do and who they meet with. And, like you look at public figures, and, Doreen Virtue, she was like in the public eye, and she was doing angel, cards and tarot and all this. And the spiritual, she was writing for New Age, and she was really popular in the New Age community and the spiritual community. And then she went through a life change, and she became, a born-again Christian. So she has changed groups as we're coming up on this Pluto and Aquarius. So, I mean, people are going to make changes. People are going to go from conservative to spiritual. People are going to go from spiritual to conservative. I mean, people are probably going to change over the next 20 years. And I mean, change is part of life. We go where we're fed, and we're going to connect with whatever friend group resonates with us. And we all can't be the same. And I think that's what the Aquarian energy is about, is people are individuals. So like as we're coming up on this time, I was definitely thinking part of what I went through had to do with it's relearning what you were connected to in past lives. And I think in past lives I was connected with the church, and people put a lot of weight into the church, and religion is really sensitive, like in the past, people revolved their whole life around that, and now people are more individual, and they're more intellectual. People are just different, and society is different. We have the internet. Way back when there was no internet, and the whole one size fits all, um, that was more, I guess, normal, you know. in your communities and whatever, but now the world is connecting over the internet. And so with this Pluto and Aquarius, we're going to be changing, and we're going to be experimenting with groups more so like we did in COVID. In COVID, people were meeting over Zoom, or through some other app. But anyways, I've been trying to put together a little Pluto and Aquarius blurb, and I was breaking down for each sign with this Pluto and Aquarius retrograde, what house is affected for each individual, and then I was sitting with the energy of my own stuff, and it was productive. And then of course, making this period interesting too is we have Mars and Aries for quite a while. So is it 8 weeks? I think it's 8 weeks. But anyways, this is a good time to be goal-oriented and think about what you want for your life, and what would help you like ground as an individual and like be stronger on your path. And as Pluto moves forward in Aquarius, people are going to be connecting, or choosing to just be individual and do their own path and be solitary and be alone. And because everybody has their own choice, people could be running with a group and then say, I can make it on my own, I can do my own spiritual path. And that's the beauty of life, is we should be able to respect and choose another, respect our own path and respect other people's path as we go about life. So anyways, this talk was supposed to be about the Pluto retrograde and Mars and Aries, and also what is going to be evolving when Pluto goes direct into Aquarius for each individual. So I will work on putting up something for each sign and house for the Pluto and Aquarius. And I went over the information of the path of Pluto. On May 2nd, we have Pluto going retrograde after it has just started to move in Aquarius. It went slowly into Aquarius, and now it's going to slowly retrograde, and then eventually we'll have that direct motion. But for the next 20 years we have Pluto in Aquarius, and that's definitely going to change the world, positive and negative. Maybe there might be some negative repercussions. I know people are talking about the AI, and they're talking about society being really unsafe, and you're always going to have low vibe and you're going to have high vibe, and you're going to have the middle vibe, so that's just what we have on this earth. So anyway, this was just a little introduction, trying to see if I could be seen online today, and then I will do the physical presentation on Pluto in Aquarius and the retrograde, and how it's going back over the path of Aquarius into Capricorn, and then it's going to go into Aquarius, and then so I'll go through that in another video, but I just wanted to loosely talk about it, and then I'll post something more concrete, spelling it out, about the placements and how it affects a person. So just saying hello. I'm off today, and I will put the content down. I'm working on the nodes still. Some of that information, it has the bright side and the light side. So when you dive into past lives, people could have something dark in their past, or, just good karma, Thank you. Yeah, like um, the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio, there's parts of that, like, like looking at somebody's chart, I actually saw dark energy in somebody's information that, pretty recently. And then I saw in another chart kind of more neutral energy, and I saw how people kind of balance each other out. And I was spending time on the Taurus and the Scorpio nodal axis relating to past lives, and some of it's heavy. And so, like, in explaining that to somebody, but I mean, that's what you're into when you're studying karmic astrology, is you're studying positive and negative energy of the past. And so it becomes complex. And then understanding your current life purpose in relation to the whole scenario is important, and then choosing how you're going to go about this existence, and how to find your way. It's different for everybody. So anyway, still working on that. I kind of want to take a little step away, and I wanted to do the Pluto in Aquarius because I was in the mood. God forbid, I'm a Pisces, I was in the mood. So I've been in the mood for Pluto in Aquarius, and then the Mars in Aries. That's interesting too, to talk about, because we can get goal-oriented in the specific areas of our lives. And I could touch on that too. I gotta take the time to do it. So I'll probably get to work on that. But I did want to say hello and just touch on, the Pluto in Aquarius, the Pluto in Aquarius retrograde, the nodes that I'm working on, which is harder for people to spend energy on. And I understand that people could just click away because they don't want to hear about it. But the Pluto in Aquarius, that's pretty interesting. And the Mars in Aries also. So still working on the channel and still working on the content. I look forward to connecting with y'all more. But today, just saying hi. And I hope you're doing well. Thank you for listening to me today. And I'll work on that content, okay? All right. Have a great night. Bye.